Hello, welcome to today's show where I'm joined by my co-host Nicole.
Hey.
And our amazing guest Neil Packer. So quick
Hiya.
Introduction for Neil. Hiya, welcome to the show. So I did meet Neil briefly last year at the ParaMeet conference up in Hinckley in Leicestershire. So Neil has been investigating the paranormal for over 15 years. He's the owner of the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre and the TV network Ghost Planet Network. He also runs a ParaMeet Paranormal Convention, which is held biannually in Leicestershire. Oh, that was a mouthful. You got there. So thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. I'm excited.
You're more than welcome
to hear about everything.
Yes. So can we start with the paranormal research at the Antique Centre? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've been open almost 7 years now. We opened in 2018 in February. It's a haunted building in the centre of Hinckley in Leicestershire. We've got different themed rooms, and it's home to potentially hundreds of potentially haunted objects, and we do research on these objects. We have paranormal teams come in every weekend to investigate not only the rooms but the items as well. So that's what we do here.
Ah.
How do you acquire the items? Do people give them to you, or do you go out seeking them?
Well, we bought quite a lot of them, but we're finding now a lot of people are starting to send us items that they don't want in the house. They tend to be the dolls. And I'm not big fans on haunted dolls, but people send me and say they've got this possessed doll. You know, that people watch the movies and think it's an evil doll.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, we'll do some work with it, and there's probably nothing around this doll.
No.
But we go around antique centres as well, looking for interesting items. You know, if we're in an antique centre and Jane, who's the medium of the centre, says to me that object's interesting, and I think we could do some work with it, we will buy it and bring it back and do some work with it.
Yeah. So have you ever bought anything and took it back and done some work and it's been that bad? It's like, we need to get this out of here. It's got to go somewhere else. No.
We will have anything. You know, if I was offered the Annabelle doll, I would take it, because I don't think that's going to be that bad anyway. But
I've seen Annabelle.
Have you?
We've been sent items from other people who said that they're so bad, they're so evil that we can't have them. But they're not. They've turned out to be not that bad, really.
Yeah. Do you think though the haunted object, it has different levels of, I suppose, power in different locations?
Well, I think you got to think, when people think of an haunted object, they think the object's actually got this spirit contained in it.
Yeah.
I don't believe that as such. I believe the entity just stays with the object, whether they loved it so much or they liked it so much when they were alive, they want to stay with the item, but they can go off anyway. So we got items here that they're haunted items, but the spirit's not attached to the item all the time. So the spirit's got free will to go where they want anyway.
So it's more like an attachment to the item rather than a possession of the item.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So do you have all the stuff locked away in like glass cabinets, or are they open for people to touch and see?
People are allowed to touch the vast majority of items. Some are locked away because they're irreplaceable. For example, we've got items from Boleskine House. You know, Aleister Crowley's former home.
Oh.
So we've got items from there, and I can never replace them. So if they get stolen or broken, we got soil from 25 Cromwell Street. You know, Fred and Rose West's house.
Oh wow.
And we can't replace it. So they are locked. They are locked. That cabinet is locked. But if people want to do particular work with those items, I will let them if I know who they are. But the vast majority of items are out in the open, so they can, for example, they can wear the World War II helmets, or they can sit in the wheelchair, or they can hold the doll, or whatever they want to do, how they want to do their work. And for 7 years, touch wood, we've not had any problems with people stealing stuff or breaking stuff.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's a good start.
What would you say is the most problematic item that you've taken in that's given you any kind of trouble?
Yeah, the most problematic if that's the wrong word, but we've got a big mirror. It's a portal mirror, and that was given to us from a family who were having problems there. The entities were coming in and out, and they tended to be the more negative entities. So that's depends on who comes through that mirror at any given time. They can be quite negative, but nothing that we can't handle.
Yeah.
What do you do if you have something that, like, do you cleanse, or do you use any kind of protection around these items?
No, we do no cleansing. We never use any protection ourselves when we do our work, because I feel if you protect yourself too much, you're limiting the activity that you can experience. We want to experience the full thing that we can. Especially when we've got Jane with us. Jane's, like I said, Jane's the medium, the centre. If she thinks things are getting out of hand, she can control it. She can control the entity. You know, if the entity needs pushing back into the mirror, she can do that. So myself and my team never use any protection, but Jane is always watching out to make sure that we're okay, and we've never had any problems. You know, we do work. We do a series on Ghost Planet Network with the Demon Connections, where Jane will invite a different demon into the room for every episode, and we do work with demons. And we've never had any problems with any of the demons. I think they are misunderstood. People watch too much Hollywood and YouTube, and they get the wrong idea on these demons. To us, they're just ancient beings.
Yeah, no, I get that. Totally.
Yeah. So would you say they're not really demons per se, but it's more of an elemental or ancient spirit than what is regularly portrayed as a demon, like from the devil, from hell?
Yeah, I think demons is just a label. I think the church had to label these entities, give them a name, and we are working through the 72 demons of the Lesser Keir Solomon. You know, the book, King Solomon supposedly summoned these 72 demons to build his temple. So we are working through the 72 demons of the Leicestershire Solomon. And to be honest, they are giving us lots of information, and it's really, really fascinating what they're giving us.
What kind of
So
work do you do when you like invite them in?
Jane will summon. She's got an incantation from the world of spirit, how to invite them in. And we'll invite a different one every episode that we do, and we'll just have a chat with them. We'll use a board. It's a bit like a Ouija board, but it's called a Pathfinder board. It's got symbols on as well. We tend to use that. But if the demon tells Jane to use something different, we will change what we're doing. For example, if this demon is known for being in the woods or that thing, we'll go filming in the woods, because that's where they like. Or they like herbs, or work with herbs, or mechanics. We will adapt our investigation to what they would like to work with.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I've always thought, when you said about cleansing, so
Yeah.
I've always been a bit, I know a lot of people might go, oh, you're completely wrong. But with the cleansing, you kind of like, you're pushing away what it is that you want to come through.
Yeah.
So you're contradicting what you want to do to what you're actually doing.
Yeah, I agree totally. And we have had people come to the centre and cleanse room. You know, we've had one group leave handfuls and handfuls of selenite, which is a banishing crystal.
Yeah.
And for a couple of weeks after, and they hid it all around the building.
Wow.
So they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And for the next couple of weeks, pardon the pun, but the centre was dead. There was absolutely nothing in here at all, no spirits, because all the spirits had been pushed out until we found, one of my team found this selenite, and we removed it all. And then Jane has to invite them all back in again. Obviously, we don't contain any spirits here. If they got free will, if they want to go, they can go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, I'm just thinking now with what you've just been saying, the encounters that I've never cleansed myself afterwards when I've seen an apparition or a shadow figure or anything like that. I've just gone, what the hell was that? And you're trying to and that's it.
Yeah.
I've done no cleansing ever when it comes to spirits and the paranormal.
No, we never do, and we've never had any issues. But we do guest nights up at the centre as well. So you know, if we have the general public and they want cleansing at the end of the night, the medium will cleanse them then.
Yeah.
There's no, in our opinion, there's no need to, because if the spirits are in the building, they want to be in that building. So
that's it. And as long as they're not causing any damage or creating that much mischief, like poltergeist activity, then why not keep them there? Because that's the whole reason that you're doing this.
Well, it's like if you go in somebody's own house, you know, if they've got a spirit there of a former owner, but this spirit is not doing anything, it's not hurting them, but this spirit just wants to stay in their house. Personally, I think let them stay there. If they're not hurting you, if they're not doing anything, why push them away from what they want to do? You know, do we have the right to do that anyway? I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because sometimes we have cases where people have us come in and they're not comfortable because of the spirit, even if it's not doing anything, you know, particularly harmful. But then we just tell them to set boundaries. Do you have to set boundaries with any of your spirits and be like, all right, don't do this?
Yeah, I agree. Set boundaries. You tell the spirit, please don't scare the children, or don't do this. And as far my experience, they'll stick to the boundaries, because that's how you're going to allow them to stay in that house where they want to stay in. Otherwise, they won't be allowed to stay there.
Yeah, I suppose it's showing each other respect.
Yeah.
Just because whatever it is isn't living like we are, like in human form, I suppose, doesn't mean to say they don't have the same attributes that we have.
Well, I think they do anyway. You know,
Yeah.
they're still human. The spirit
Yeah.
is still human spirit.
Yeah, they just don't have the
The body.
body to. Yeah.
Very true. Bills are scary too, but we still have to deal with them.
No, just throw them out the window.
Get some selenite for those.
No. So, do you do any of your own investigations in the antique centre? So, would you go in and even, I know it's your place, you've been doing it for so many years, but would you go in there and it's like, right, let's do something different, let's do something fresh, something kind of like what we've not done before, like different types of equipment?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're going to do more of that this year because obviously to finance the building, because I
Yeah.
pay rent and the gas and tax and all
Yeah.
this. I've been relying on paranormal teams every Friday and Saturday evening to pay me to investigate the building. I'm not so reliant on that this year. So we are going to be doing more of our own work up here.
Yeah.
We're going to be using different types of equipment. We're going to do all sorts of different experiments. We're actually going to start tomorrow evening. Actually,
Oh, wow.
we're going to do a new series. It's going to go on Ghost Planet Network. We're going to do work with the Ouija board, which
Yeah.
is some people don't like them. Some people say stay away from them. Some people say they don't work. It's people
Yeah.
pushing them. But the way we're going to do it is we're going to show them that people aren't pushing the planchette to the
Yeah.
letters. But obviously, if you want to find out how we do it, you'll have to watch the series on Ghost Planet Network.
Yeah.
I think the Ouija board is like anything else. It's how people use it. Because you'll have people who never get anything with a REM pod or a K2, but then some people, that's all they use, or a certain phone app.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
right.
really depends what works for you.
Yeah, but the Ouija board's been given a bad reputation, hasn't it? From it started from the Exorcist film in '73, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's got a bad reputation, but I don't think I personally don't believe it's the portal, it's the gateway to hell. It's just a bit of cardboard normally with letters and numbers on.
Well, it's like it was originally designed as a board game for kids. Was it Martel or MB or somebody in like early 1900s? And it's like ages 6 and above.
Yeah,
But,
I think in America you used to be able to buy pink ones for girls and blue ones for boys. I think whether that's still going on, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've got 3 up on the wall, like we've got all the plates and that, but I've never used one. There's just something that stopping me from doing it. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just not confident enough to do it.
I've used them before on investigations, and it's said some interesting things.
Yeah,
I don't use it regularly.
I just think the Ouija board's just another tool for the paranormal investigators. Like you say, same as the REM pod. That's just a tool. But we got quite a few Ouija boards at the centre. But again, you see, we class ourselves as a research centre, so we never close our boards down like the rules say you have to close it down. We never ever close any of our boards down, and we've not had anything bad come from it. Because you don't close the REM pod, you just switch the REM pod off. You don't close or dowsing rods or pendulum. You don't close them down. It's just another. The Ouija board is just another tool, in my opinion. So.
Yeah.
But
no, I was going to say that. Sorry.
Unfortunately, the Ouija board is open to people pushing the planchette and that sort of thing. So the way we're going to do our experiment starting tomorrow evening is they won't be able to do that.
Cool.
That's going to be interesting to see. Check it out and see
how
you guys are.
Yeah, were you saying about the pendulum and the dowsing rods? I started using the dowsing rods a lot more when I go out investigating, and I seem to be getting a lot more from that than I am anything else. Plus, my cat bell died tonight, so that's gone in the bin. I left it on. I forgot to switch it off, and it's probably been going off while I've been out at work. So
all the girls are like, "Hello, I'm here."
Yeah, so with the dowsing rods, I'll do what I need to do. I'll say goodbye, like I'm leaving now. I'll leave you to it. Goodbye, and then I'll just pack them up and
Yeah,
put them in a little velvet bag, and
yeah,
that's
I
it. Done.
do. I love my dowsing rods.
Yeah.
So with
But
dowsing rods and pendulums, do you think that like it's a person kind of channeling a spirit to get the answer, or do you think a spirit is physically moving it?
I think the spirit's moving it, whether it's obviously not physical because they've not got physical body, but they can move it with their sort of mind. Because we have done, I've used the dowsing rods myself and Jane, and the spirit was just doing this to open the rods open, and he's doing this, and they're crossed. So Jane could see him actually doing these gestures, and that's how he was manipulating dowsing rods. But again, you see, the dowsing rods are open to people cheating because they are easy to manipulate. You've got to get the balance just right. But again, you see, I've made a board where the dowsing rods actually sit in the board, so I can't move them, and they've got copper shields around the handles as well. So
Yeah,
I
the
can't
little
So I can't physically move them unless I'm doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which shows that I'm not manipulating them at all. So that helps. That proves to me that they do work.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of debate about whether it's yourself and you have the answer, or tapping into collective consciousness, or an actual entity.
That's right. That people say that about Ouija boards, don't they? Whether it's I can't remember the word. Whether it's your mind making you move the planchette, you're not doing it on purpose, but your mind is giving you the answer that's going. But like I say, the new experiment that we're doing, that's taken out of the equation.
Yeah. See, I'm a bit on the fence with the dowsing rods. I think it's a bit, because when I've got the ones in the copper ones that unfold, and they've got little hinges and they sit in the little sleeves. So you've got to proper twist your wrists and that to make them move.
Yeah.
So I always tuck my elbows in, hold them as straight as I can.
Yeah.
And then that way I'm not moving. I just stand as still as possible. And they'll start, I've had them when they've been spinning round like clockwise, counterclockwise and all that. But it kind of feels like, I always thought, is it me that's doing this? But then you get like, it feels like it's not being pushed, but more pulled. So it feels like it's something pulling it rather than pushing it. And I've had that not every time, but a couple of times. That's why I'm a bit 50-50.
Yeah, I always like
how it goes.
I always like the dowsing rods when it looks really controlled movement. No, they don't cross like that. They go really slow.
Then stop.
And it's controlled.
Yeah.
And I think that's better. That's more evidential for me.
Yeah, I've had them where they're like crossing and then they stop and go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you're doing that yourself, it's kind of difficult to like stop it mid cross and go the opposite direction.
That's right.
But you'd be seen trying to like twist your hands like that, trying to make it move. And if you've got the ones in the sleeves, like Neil was just saying, it is. I've got the video when we went to Rendlesham, and I met up with Og and Tuesday. There's about 7 of us in total, and we couldn't. I was showing you how by doing that you can't control how it goes unless you're doing that like a lassie. You've not got full control as to what direction it's going to go in.
That's right.
So I think that's why I trust the dowsing rods and a pendulum more than, I suppose, the electronic devices that we've got now, the more modern stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal preference.
I like them both. I like my electronic stuff.
Yeah, see, I'm moving away.
I think we shouldn't disregard anything until we use them ourselves. No, I don't use many mobile phone apps, so I can't. To me, I can't have an opinion on them because I've not used them. But again, this year we want to start doing more controlled experiments with mobile phone apps as well, and we want to do more controlled because we've got a perfect building to do it in. So and then I think I can have an opinion on them.
Yeah, see,
You know,
I have used. Oh, sorry, go on.
do you know which apps you're looking into using yet?
No, I've watched some YouTube channels, and I've seen some that they look pretty okay. I know a guy who develops his own, so I'm going to start on his, I think, because I know him.
Yeah,
And then we'll open it to people who watch the series, to say, oh, try using this one. You know,
yeah,
and if it's controlled and we do it more than once, you can't just use an mobile phone app once and say no, it don't work, because that's
yeah,
not research. That's just playing at it, I think.
yeah.
Just an
See,
anecdotal thing.
my thing with the apps, and I have used them. I've used different ones. Is a lot of them are preloaded with words,
Yeah,
and then it uses your microphone. So whatever you're saying, if
yeah,
it's programmed to pick up on specific words you say, then it's going to send them the ones that are preloaded. It's going to send them out to you. I'm not saying they
okay,
all do that, but there are some that do that.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's what I'm
Really
not.
watch the permissions.
Yeah, I'm not fully convinced that they're. I'm not saying that they don't work, but it's going to take a lot to convince me that that's a go-to instrument to use.
yeah. I agree. But I can't say I've ever used a mobile phone app. So I
No.
just don't
Yeah.
know. I've seen them on YouTube, and I'm thinking that I don't believe that at all, because some you can put extra words in as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if a mobile phone app starts saying that the ghost hunters' names and that sort of thing, or get out now, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
puts me off them a little bit.
I feel like they
But
all have a little bit of that like scare factor programmed in, but some
yeah,
of them are good. Like
yeah,
I use one that turns your phone into like a geophone to sense vibrations, and
yeah,
then it works with an obelisk where it spits out a word. But I really use it to see if there's anything like any footsteps or any vibrations,
yeah.
rather than
So
putting too much credit in the words.
we will do some research on the mobile phone apps as well this year. So I'm looking forward to it. Or I've got lots of different ideas for projects that we are going to start doing this year, and get different series on Ghost Planet Network. So I've got about 13 different lots of
Wow.
investigating and experiments to do on different ideas. So we've got
Yeah.
lots to do this year.
And the
So,
thing is with that, oh, sorry, just quickly.
Mhm.
Even if they don't work, it's going to be fun to try all these different things, because obviously you're going to do it 2, 3, 4 times anyway to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a mean of what's going on.
Yeah, we're not going to, like, for example, the Ouija board we're going to start filming tomorrow evening. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to not do it. It's just going to be a boring half-hour show on Ghost
Yeah.
Planet
Yeah.
Network
Yeah.
because it's not working. Does that prove to me that Ouija boards don't work? No, it doesn't. It just didn't work with that group of 4 people you actually using the board. Next week I could have 4 different people in, perhaps doing a different room, exactly the same experiment, and it works and we get answers. Again,
Yeah.
does that prove that it works? No, because you can't prove something does or doesn't work on just 1 or 2 attempts. You've got to do it continuously over months and months. I'm planning to do this at least the rest of this year, perhaps into next year, to get a full
Yeah.
picture. So, and then we
But
can base.
you're going to get the serious researchers watching that because that's real.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want the general public to watch it because it's going to be interesting, and because I think it's something that they've probably never seen before. But we'll see. Tomorrow night nothing might happen. But that's paranormal
Yeah.
investigation anyway, isn't it? You can go to the most haunted building in the world, sit for
Yeah.
5 hours and nothing happen. It's just that, like I say, it doesn't prove that Ouija boards don't work. It just didn't work that night.
Yeah. But it's like, I'd put it like fishing. You can go fishing and be sat there 5, 6. I know because I've done it. but I don't do fishing anymore. You can be sat there all day, get absolutely nothing. Go back 2-3 days later, exact same equipment, sat on the same peg, and you just fish after fish after fish.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
And just
So
because you don't catch a fish doesn't mean there are no fish in the lake. You just didn't
exactly.
catch
That's
Exactly.
where
That's it.
I was going with that.
To me, that's research.
it. Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
what we are starting tomorrow night is research into the Ouija boards.
Yeah. But it's like, do you know Paul Sinclair does Truth
Yeah.
Proof? So
Yeah.
he goes to Bempton a lot. And I went up, I've been up once, went up last year, a couple of people in the chat were there as well. And he was saying, he goes, you could go every day of the month, like 29, 30 days, get nothing. And on that one day, you'll go and everything, the sky's lit up. And
Yeah.
he goes, but you've got to keep going. You've got to keep doing it, because
That's
if you
right.
don't, then you're not going to get it. It's like there's a cemetery near me, Kingsthorpe, just up on the main road. I've had loads of stuff there. Well, I won't say a lot, but the stuff that has gone on there have been big activity. But I've probably been there more where I've got absolutely nothing,
That's right.
like day and night. So does that mean because that day that I went, that all the activities just move somewhere else, and then the
Well,
day do go and it all kicks off? It's like, oh, they've come back because they got bored of being wherever they was.
possibly, but also it could be in your state of mind as well, couldn't it? You know, if you're not in the right state of mind, it's different to if when you're in a good state, in a good place. You know, to me, it's no good going. If you got to be careful where you go. If you're feeling on a downer, for example, if you're feeling really low, you want to be more cautious where you go, because any nasty spirits will sort of latch onto you. If your state of mind is low, they could latch onto you because you're an easy target.
Yeah, because you're vulnerable, so it's like
Yeah.
You're an open door, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, I get that. It's like, and I think most of the time I think every time that we've been and we've got something, no pun intended, we've been in good spirits. We've been having a laugh, because you do have to have a laugh when you're doing this, because it can get too robotic, should we say?
Yeah.
So we have a bit of a laugh, but when we hear something or think we see something, we cut that back and then we concentrate on what's going on. And I think each time that I've been everywhere, it's been like that whenever we've got anything. And I have been out doing investigations when I'm in the mood where, I'm not in the mood to do it, but I've promised the other people that was meeting up and was going to do it. I didn't want to let them down.
Yeah.
And then nothing's really happened when it's been like that. So I totally get what you're saying on that as well.
Good.
So have you ever been anywhere just out and about, not doing an investigation, where you've had a really odd encounter?
I can't think of anything, so I don't. No, I don't think so.
No.
Apart from once dry cycling down a lane many years ago, me and my brother saw a UFO in the sky, and that was odd. That was interesting. That was long time ago. You know, you're talking probably 50 years ago now. That was interesting.
Was that up in Leicester, near where you are now?
Yeah, it was in between. We were cycling back from Hinckley to the village where we lived, and we saw this light, and it was sort of. It was a sort of triangle-shaped 3 lights. You know, the normal sort of thing you hear about the UFOs. And it was quite low, and we definitely saw this, and it just sat there all the way. You know, the lane's about 2.5 miles long, so we could see it all the way down these lanes, and other people we heard that reported it. They saw it as well.
Oh,
that was interesting.
Yeah. So did it? Do you know if anything happened? Like, did it come close to you? Do you have
It just stayed where it was. You know, as we went further down the lane, it just sort of stayed there. And we looked back, we could still see it. So it must have been a good size.
So how far away would you say you was from it?
It must have been, I don't know, 100 yards in the air.
Oh,
So
so not that far, really.
It was close. But
Close.
obviously, as we cycled, it seemed to stay the same size. So whether it's following us or just moving slowly along with us, I don't know. It wasn't scary, to be honest. I remember I remember we were talking about it and we weren't scared, which was unusual because I'm a bit of a coward. I am. I normally get scared anyway.
Same, yeah.
You know, there's rooms in my centre that I won't go if I'm the only one in the building, and it's my place. So it's a bit silly, really.
No, I get that. I'm the same. But so
Go anywhere.
would you say anything strange happened with that? Do you and your brother recall any, say, missing time or
No,
in a different
nothing,
place? No.
no. We both experienced the same thing. We got home when we should have done. Because you know, in those days, if you're half an hour late going home, your mum and dad start panicking.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have mobile phones, obviously. So if your mum was expecting you back at 10 o'clock at night and you weren't back at 10:15, she would start panicking. So we got back when we should have done. So nothing really happened. We just saw these three lights in the sky, and we heard nothing. We weren't scared, and we just cycled home.
So did you talk about it afterwards, say like a day or two after, you and your brother, or did you tell anyone else about the encounter?
We didn't tell anyone else. Again, those, you know, in the mid-70s, you didn't really talk about that sort of thing. We talked about it between ourselves. We told our parents. Obviously, they thought we were just making it up because that's the way it was then. Same as ghosts. You know, if you saw a ghost or a spirit, and you told your mum and dad back then, they'd say you're just making it up. So we didn't tend to tell people a lot. Well, I thought you were just going mental or something.
Yeah. I know. It's like I've said before with some of the encounters that well, most of them, it happened. It's like, oh, all right. And then just carried on doing what I was doing. If there's somebody else there, I might have spoke about it with them like you did with your brother. But a lot of them, I've been on my own and it's happened. It's like, oh, right. And then just crack on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It is very weird.
Very.
Right. We do have a question for you. And
Okay.
this is from Og. And it's going back to the antique centre. She's asking, do you ever get any spirits in there vying for your attention more than others?
Good question.
Yeah, we do. We there's, it's not so much now, but a few months ago there was like sort of a power straw going on in the attic, because we brought a new item into the attic, and there's some strong entities in there. They were sort of vying to be the most powerful one in the attic. Not They didn't hurt anyone. They did overshadow a few people. One spirit did, I must admit.
Yeah.
But we handled that. But that seems to have calmed down now. So, and they're all still there. So whether it's just a newbie coming in, wanted to sort of flex his muscles a bit, and the others wouldn't let him flex his muscles. But you know, most of the items have been here for years now, so yeah, they all know us. We know most of them. We do get the odd ones coming in just for the hell of it. We're big believers in portals, and Jane has opened quite a few portals up in the centre. as an experiment, for example,
Yeah.
in the war room, we've got a room full of war artifacts and an Anderson shelter. Inside the Anderson shelter, Jane's opened a portal up in there, and she's only allowing in wartime spirits, just to see if she can control who comes in and out. And so far, that's been going on for a couple of years now. So far, the only spirits come in through that portal are wartime spirits. And some go back. Some go back to where they've come from. I don't know where that is. Some go back, and some ask if they can stay because they like to be within the war items. And again, they got free will. If they want to stay, they can stay.
Yeah. So have you ever had full-on conversations with the spirits, like you personally?
Not me personally. I do talk to them when all the team go. When we open up upstairs or we go upstairs, we always say hello to them, and that sort of thing. But Jane does have proper conversations with them, and she's got a book. All the spirits that she's seen in the centre, she's drawn and wrote all the details about that spirit. And we always document things that the paranormal teams tell us. So I don't have full, because I can't see or hear them. So
Right. Okay.
but I do. Some to the children do come down my house, and I can hear them running up the stairs now and again, playing, which is fine. They're not hurting anybody.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think I'd still be hand near the front door, ready to run out. Because no, I've had that once with kids running around playing and that, and it's outside on the side of a main road at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and it's like there's no kids there. Oh,
Weird.
It was awful. Probably.
Do you have like a favorite object?
A favorite object? My actually favorite object is a little toy clown. It's about 9-10 inches big. It's not that old, to be honest. I think it comes from the 50s. But the boy whose doll clown it was, he's here. His name's Bob. He had a really sad life. He was born with disabilities. Yeah, he had calipers on his legs, and his family disowned him. He ended up in a children's home where he was bullied. So he had a really, really sad life. And he has told us that he's happy now, which is sad again. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be happy in life, but he's happy. But he always he stays with his doll, his clown doll. And he's one of the boys who comes down my house because I've always said that if the centre had to close for any reason, Bob and his clown will come home with me. Bob's stuck with me forever, I think.
Yeah. So have you had anyone, either you or any of the team members, had like a walk-in where a spirit's tried to go inside you and take control?
Yeah, we've actually had some guests happened too. Tends to be in the attic, because the attic is the most negative room, because anything remotely negative that we get, plus it's got the big portal mirror in there, goes into the attic room. We've had a couple that once you take them out the attic, that they're okay. They have a cup of tea and they're okay again. So they say it's a possession. It's not a possession. It's just that the spirits comes too close, and whether they've said something that the spirit didn't like, which to me that's more likely. Whether they try to antagonize them, which I don't like people antagonizing the spirits anyway. But I don't think there's need to. So we've had a couple of them, but that's not happened for a long time. Actually, we're due for another one, to be honest.
People are coming in to antagonize, because that's the spirit's home. That's like their domain, and you're going in there and stirring shit up.
I say to everyone, all the teams that come in, I said, look, what you got to think of is you're coming into their home, so you have to talk to them like I would talk to you. If I came into your home, I would treat you with respect to start off with. So you're coming in down just because they've got no body doesn't make any difference. You still treat them with respect, and you try and talk to them as human beings, because they are still human beings, but without the shell. But we've had some teams in come in and effing and blinding at them, and I say, you don't do that, because someone coming to my home shouting abuse at me, I'm not going to talk to them, or I'd kick them out.
Yeah.
And
So
that's what that spirit did. The only way he could kick him out of the attic is overshadowing him and making him get out.
Yeah. So do you have any set rules now for when teams come in of what they can or can't do?
Yes, they're not allowed to move any of the spirits on. That's down to Jane, because they're not allowed to close any of the portals. They're not allowed to close any of our Ouija boards, because it's our ongoing experiment. If they don't want to use our Ouija board, that's fine. If they bring their own, that's fine. They do what they want with their stuff, and just treat everything with respect. I think there needs to be more respect for the spirit world by some teams.
Yeah.
I think some teams watch Hollywood and YouTube channels, and they think, oh, you have to go in shouting and all this to get activity. You don't.
No.
If you talk to them like a person and treat them with respect, you're more likely to get a response.
Well, that's our philosophy. So
yeah, because I always like going in and just, or got wherever we're planning on going, just go there and just sit and wait and see if anything comes to us.
Yeah,
it's, as you know, it doesn't always work, but it does now and again. So
yeah. So I think it's really important that people treat the spirits world with respect.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So how would you get on in there, Nicole? Because you do a lot of this type of stuff.
Yeah, but we don't go in cursing and screaming at spirits. We go in and we set up some equipment and everything. So I don't know. I'd just be really interested to see what we got versus what past teams have got.
Yeah, it is interesting. When teams come up, we don't tell them anything about the items, because it's because as soon as I say, "Oh, that doll has got a lady attached to it,"
Yeah,
there's a good chance that they are going to pick up on that lady, because I've already put that into their heads. No matter what they do at that
you've
night,
seeded it, haven't you?
that's in their heads. So we don't tell them anything about any of the items or anything about the rooms. But if they come down to me in breaks or at the end of the night and say to me, blah blah blah, I can say, yeah, that's true. That we've had that before. Or they tend to come down during a break and say, Neil, such and such has happened. I said, yeah, go with it, because you're on the right track there. I won't elaborate too much. I say, yeah, you are going down the right track. So you focus on that, you'll get more activity.
Yeah.
So have you nice.
So have you had like items where a particular thing is constant and then another team's come in and they're getting something totally different from that same item?
Not from the item, no. From the building, yes, because we get spirits coming in and out from everywhere.
Yeah.
Plus, all the people that come to the building, they bring their own spirits with them anyway.
Yeah.
You've all got spirit guides, so whether you've got a spirit guide with you, you've got spirits with you anyway. But with the item, it will be the same sort of thing happening, or if they gain activity from that item, it'll be roughly the same sort of activity, depending on how they are treating that item.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going in and not treating it properly, they'll mess with you.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
How I want to take it back for a second. How did you get started with? Did you like collect some haunted objects and decide to make like a museum? What started this whole idea?
I used to co-own a venue group. We took guests all around the 100 locations all around the country, but I was getting pretty bored babysitting guests to be honest, because I weren't doing what I wanted to do. So I wanted to move away from that sort of thing, and I thought, oh, haunted objects, we're getting quite popular in the UK at that time. So I thought, yeah, okay then, and I believe that the spiritual stage of an item that they loved and cherished. So I thought antiques, people loved and cherished their antiques. So we started going to antiques. Well, I emailed lots of antique centres around me, asked them if we could come and investigate their shop. One replied, and he allowed us in to investigate, and we had such a brilliant night. Thought, yeah, okay, then we can go with this. So I started, with Jane's help, obviously. We started collecting items, and it started off in my carport. I got a carport, and I made a room out of it. So the museum started in my carport. But of course, teams were asking me if they can come and work with the items, and I thought, well, it's not really suitable coming to my house, into my carport. Plus, we were getting all sorts coming into our house. You know, my wife Julie was seeing things standing at the end of the bed at night.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, then I'll have a look for a suitable building in the town. So I found this building. So we started off just the second floor, and then the people below me, they moved out, so I took on the first floor. So we got the whole building now, and it's just progressed from there.
Yeah.
And with the building, did the building have activity before you moved all this stuff in?
Yeah, when I first got the keys, me and myself and my team spent the night up here. It was completely empty. All we got is 5 chairs and a table. There was nothing else in the building, and we had a really active night. So we knew the building. The building dates back from the late 1800s. So it's an old building. Plus, there's some beams in parts of the building dating back from the 1600s. So what the Victorians did was use parts of an older building. So there's a lot of history here, and we had such a good night. And of course, once I started moving my items in, the activity sort of ramped up then.
Yeah.
So
does
how the building spirits play with the object spirits?
They do actually. It's, you know, I always thought if spirits from different times wouldn't connect, but they do. You know, we got spirits from 300 years ago connecting with spirits of 100 years ago, and especially the 2 boys that come down down to my house, they never knew each other in life. They come from different time zones, but they hang around together like children do, like boys do, which is something new to me. I didn't know that sort of thing happened, but they do, and they do. Some don't interact with each other, but most of them do, and it's all interesting stuff.
Yeah. I was just thinking, with you saying like different spirits from different times, have you known of any time slips to happen in the building?
I've not had any time slips in the building.
No.
No.
No, I'm just thinking with all the different types of activity from like different eras.
Yeah.
Could that be? Is it possible?
It could be.
I don't know.
To be honest, it's something that we've not looked into. To be honest, we've got so much work on our hands. It's our biggest problem is time.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know, Jane, since September, Jane's been in Exeter. She's studying doing a master's degree in Exeter. So that's sort of put our work on hold until March when she gets back, and then we're going to really go for it. And but obviously, with the Ouija board, Jane doesn't have to be up here for that.
No.
But when we work with the demons, she has to be up here for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be.
No. I'm just thinking that. Like, I would do a Ouija board as long as I was with people that not so much know what they're doing. I know that's a big help, but
people you trust.
Have control. Yeah, someone I trust that I know has control and can do whatever they need to do. Because there's no there's no rules or regulation as to what's right and what's wrong. other than don't antagonise them. That's basic rule, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that should be a basic rule in life, shouldn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You treat everyone with respect until they lose that respect. 'Cause some people do lose your respect.
Yeah.
But that's their problem then, isn't it? You just
Yeah.
get them out of your life then, don't you?
Just push them back through the portal where they came. Right. So on that note, we're going to take a quick 2.5 minute break. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then we can come back and we can talk about ParaMeet, because you do that twice a year. And can you talk about the guest speakers you've got coming on? Or are you not that far into it yet?
I can talk about the ones that I can remember on top of my head. Yeah, yeah, of course I can.
All right. No. I didn't know how secret it was. That was all.
No, it's not. No, it's been announced, and the guest speakers have all been announced. So.
Excellent. Right. So we'll go quick. Well, 2.5 minute break. Get your questions in. We've still got a couple of questions, and then we'll crack on with the second half. So see you guys in 2. Hello, and we are back. So welcome to part 2. Just before we move on, I forgot to say you can listen to us on Audible. You can listen to us on Podcast Player, Spotify, Apple Podcast. There's a new podcast player out, and I wrote it down, but I can't find the sheet of paper. I think it's a new Google one.
Oh, I haven't heard of that yet. I'll have to look it up now.
I've not seen it, but there's a lot of people that listen to the podcast on there. So yeah, you can listen to us on podcasts. So thank you everyone who's listening and downloading on there. Really do appreciate it. So welcome back, Neil. We have got another question for you. So going back to the centre again, this is from Og, and she's asking, have you ever done any table tipping?
Yeah, I know some paranormal teams do table tipping. We have done it in the past. It's okay. It's just it's very easy to move the table yourselves. So we don't tend to do table tipping ourselves, to be honest. I don't think table tipping is evidential. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
It can be fun, but we're after evidence, and it's so easy to debunk table tipping.
Yeah. So I've never done it, and I'm guessing it's just where you all put your hands on the table and it starts rocking and moving. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's table tipping. We have done a session in the attic, again in the attic, when there's been 4 of us with the fingers on this heavy table. It's a big heavy round table on a carpet, so you can't tip it yourself, you can't move it yourself, and we had it moving towards the mirror.
Oh.
That was good, because you just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible to move this table. Now, most
Yeah.
table tipping is on little tables on 4 legs. They're very,
Yeah.
very flimsy, and you can move it on. You could move it yourself if you wanted to.
Yeah. So, the other question I was going to ask you before, I'd forgot. I've just remembered. Have you had anyone go and they're like, "No, I'm not coming back here because there's too much activity for them. They couldn't
Yeah,
physically handle it."
yeah. We've
Really?
had quite a few say they're not coming back because it's too bad.
Wow.
We've actually had one team, I think, as the year before last, cancel their booking, because they'd heard about what we do, on the Demon Connections, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't come because we do work on the Demon Connections, which is up to them.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
me,
No.
they're not after the truth. They just watch too much TV and the telly and YouTube.
Yeah. No. Totally get that. But without sounding horrible, have you had it go the other way where people have come and got absolutely nothing and gone, "Oh, I'm not coming here. It's rubbish." I don't want to sound disregarding to you or anything like that.
No,
But
no, we've not. We've never had any team that come and say they're not coming back because they don't think it's haunted.
yeah.
They said it was a fairly quiet night, but again, they're not proper paranormal investigators, because you know full well, like you've been saying, some of the location you've been to, you can go 9 times out of 10 and nothing
Yeah.
happen. So if you're an investigator, you will go back because the reports on this place have been so good. They must have been doing something wrong, and
Yeah.
I meet me and Amy, the team member, meet all the teams that come. We can tell the people who aren't going to get a lot of activity simply because of their attitude
Mm-hmm.
when they're first here.
Yeah. So I know exactly what you mean with that.
It's you can tell, and
Yeah.
you sort of give
It's
up then.
yeah, they're going in for the wrong reasons
Yeah.
and not being horrible, but as soon as you open the mouth, it's like it's going to be one of them nights again.
Yeah, and then
And it
I
just
tend
and it
I
ruins
do.
it for everyone though.
Yeah, I tend to just go home then. I leave it to Amy
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I can't be
We
dealing
actually
with them.
play that on events sometimes, and it's like, why did you even come if you were going to be so negative about everything?
Yeah, we do our own ghost hunts up here. I've got a team of hosts with paying
Yeah.
guests. We have the general public in, and I did one not long after we opened. And as soon as they walked through the door, the guy, they said to me, "If we knew what it was going to be, I wouldn't have come." So I said, "Well,
Oh.
you're not going to get any activity then." Oh, that's an easy cop out, mate. I said, "No, it ain't." So they come into the tea room. I made them a drink,
Yeah.
and none of them believed what they were doing. And I said, "Look, tell you what, I'm not going to waste my time. I'll give you your money back. You can just go."
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to get anything. It was just going to be a horrendous night for myself, trying to get the spirits to do something, because it just weren't going to happen. So I ain't going to waste my time.
No, don't blame
And
you.
I would do the same now. We've been open 7 years. People
Yeah.
come up with an attitude. I just say go. I just can't be bothered with them.
No, I don't think I'd be as polite as that. They won't get a cup of tea. And there'd be a lot stronger wording for it that way.
Yeah. Well, I lost the money, but hey, I'm not. I'm just
Yeah,
having
but
a nice time.
yeah, but it's not about that though, is it? It's
No.
like you want the right sort of people turning up. If
Yeah.
you're getting people like that all the time, what's the point?
Well, that's why I stopped
It
doing
don't make
venues.
sense.
I had people like that every Saturday night, and I thought, no, I can't be doing with this.
So they're just turning up to try and disprove everything and try and make you look like you're talking out your backside and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be doing with it.
No.
Do people after they come like send you research or send you evidence that they've gotten?
Yeah. Quite often they'll send me videos or what they've captured or audio what they've captured, or they've sort of written out a report of what they've done. So it's interesting reading that.
So
do you keep like stock of those and like the stuff that you've gotten to compare?
Yeah, we compare everything. We keep everything on record.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you log everything? Like,
Yeah,
you get like testimonials sort of thing, and then put it all out. Yeah. No, I think that's the best way to do it, because it proves then to those like the non-believers, like when you said, "Oh, we weren't expecting it to be like this." Well, did you not read what it was you was coming to?
Some people don't.
No, they don't. Well,
no.
I found quite often the wives are interested in ghost hunting or paranormal investigating, but they drag their husbands along who don't believe any of this.
Yeah.
And I just think, why bother? Yeah, if you just leave the husbands at home. It tends to be that way round, I must admit. Women, there seems to be a lot more women in the general public interested in ghost hunting than men. But I don't know what the reason is.
No,
perhaps women are more open to it.
Well,
I think
the opposite. There's more men like in the field, field in quotations, but there are a lot of women who are interested. It's just that I guess they have a hard time like breaking into the events or owning locations.
All right.
I don't know why.
I think over here it's down to the macho business. They sort of, if something unexplained happens, they'll turn a blind eye because they can't explain it in the UK. Because
and they don't want to.
They don't want to
show
admit
that they're scared.
They don't want to admit that freaks me out a bit.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not bothered if something scares me. I ain't going in now.
You got me on film saying and doing that and walking away as fast as I can, so I can't deny it. But I spoke to a few of my friends that are into it, but not openly, and they've even said it's like there's one guy who's a world champion kickboxer, and they've said it's like you can fight whoever and do this, that, and the other, but if a spirit came up, he'd be running in the opposite direction.
Yeah, because it's something they
doesn't want to show that. They don't want to show that.
He's not in control of
vulnerability
the situation, is he? If he's fighting someone, he is in control of what he's doing. But when you're something that you can't see is doing something, you're just out of your depth.
Yeah.
So on the note of people not knowing what they're getting into, I have to tell you real quick. A man brought his wife tickets to one of my events, and she emails us at fullmoonparanormal@yahoo.com to ask us what the attire for, like, what should she wear? And I'm like, I don't know, comfortable.
You should have said a bed sheet and just cut the ice out.
Her husband thought he was buying tickets for like some charity auction thing.
Oh God!
Oh,
no.
What?
Yeah. Strange. I don't know. So people do not read what they're buying sometimes. They came, they had a good time, but she wanted to know if she should show up in like a cocktail dress.
You should have said snorkel and flippers or something. Anything.
Yeah, people don't read.
Wow.
No, they don't.
Yeah, but you'd think if you're paying to go somewhere, you'd want to know what the event's about.
You would think.
You would think so. That's common sense. Unfortunately, in today's world, there's not a lot of common sense about it, is there?
But it's getting less and less by the minute.
Yeah.
And it's just getting ridiculous now. Right. So speaking of reading and events, ParaMeet.
Yep.
That's
Can you
ParaMeet.
tell us? I'll tell the people that don't
Okay.
know what it's about.
Okay, ParaMeet is a paranormal convention. Well, the original way we started ParaMeet is to hold the first Saturday of the month at the centre, where we invited small team to come up, meet, and get to know each other. Because small teams have got no chance to get into the big locations because of the cost. So our theory is meet small locations, and you could join together and afford the bigger locations. That was really successful, and then COVID hit us, like it hit everybody. So we did a virtual ParaMeet where we had guest speakers, just a bit like this, for a whole weekend.
Yeah.
So then after COVID, we thought, let's do a big ParaMeet. We'll hire a location. We hired a big hall, and we had guest speakers, and that was really successful. So we're doing it again this year. We're doing 2 this year, one in May and one in September. The one in May is a 3-day event, so we've got about 10 speakers each day. So we've got about 30 speakers on that event. The one in September is just 2-day event, so about 20, 24, 22 guest speakers. We like to have UK speakers. No disrespect to the American friends, of course, but we like the UK speakers. We have a core backbone of speakers who tend to talk at every ParaMeet we do, and then we throw in some new speakers as well, and it's working really, really well. So some of the speakers from May, we've got Dr. Kate Sherrill, who's just done a paranormal series on TV. She's been working with Jack Osborne. We've got Kate Ray. I think you've got Kate as a guest soon, talking about the Fae world. So that's all right. We've got Barry John.
Gnomes.
Barry John is an international medium, a very knowledgeable guy. Penny Griffiths Morgan is an historian. We've got Neil Story as an historian. We've got Paul Goddard, who does past life regression.
Yeah.
We've also this year we've got thrown in a UFO chap, Ben Wargate. He does a series on GPN called the 401 File. It's on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So Ben is going to come and do a talk. So it'd be nice meeting Ben. And it's a chance for people, even if they come on their own, for example, like you did last year, if you come on your own, it's such a nice, friendly atmosphere. You can talk to people and they will talk to you back. So just because you're coming on your own, you might think I'm Billy No Mates, but you will have mates at the end of it.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, there's lots of these podcasts around nowadays. We've got lots of friends in the paranormal field on Facebook. You've never met them. So it's nice to actually meet people that you've been friends with on Facebook for years and years and years. And it just keeps growing and growing. The one in May, we have the GPN Awards as well. So that's another interesting event. It's just a fun weekend, and I'm looking forward to the May. It's going to be a long weekend because it's a 3-dayer. But it's going to be just good fun, and everyone smiles, and we have the power hug. Everyone hugs each other, and it's just a great atmosphere. That's what I say. You were there last year. What did you make of ParaMeet?
Like I said to you,
one?
I went on my own because it's like I wanted to push myself out my comfort zone. So I went, and it's like when I first got there, I knew one person, that was Kate Ray. So I spoke to her pretty much straight away, and then I recognised a few more faces. So as the day went on, it got easier.
Yeah.
But I think now, because that was the first like ghost type convention that I'd been to, like I said to you before, most of the ones that I've been to have been UFO ones. And they're not that much different, but they are, if that makes sense. So with the paranormal ones, it's more, I think once you've been to one, then when you go to the next one, you're gonna know more and more people. You're gonna like yourself, because I've not, obviously I know I'd seen you because you was hosting it. So use up and use chatting and everything. But I didn't actually. I don't know if I came over and said hello to you. I
No,
honestly,
I don't think we had a
can't
chat, no.
remember. But there's that many people there. Like I said, Barry Frankish were there, Adrian Perkins to Investigates were there, Kate Sherrill. There's a few people that I'm over talking. She got Emily Paranormal.
Oh yeah,
So
Emily
speaking
Waterson.
to her. Yeah, that's it. So I've interviewed her a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few people there, but because I'd never met them in person and I was there on my own, it was, I admit, it was a bit daunting.
Yeah.
But once it's like breaking the ice, and once you've done it, then you're a bit more chilled. So
well, if you come back in May, it'll be so much easier, you know.
Yeah.
And we always have Paul and Andy from the Haunted magazine. You know, if you can't get on with them,
Yeah.
you can't get
Yeah.
on with anybody. They are just the two of the nicest guys in the paranormal field, without a doubt. And they'll just talk to anybody. And you know, if you're on your own, go and talk to Paul. It's
Yeah. I think what it was though, there was a lot of paranormal groups there.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that many like individuals.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was more than anything else. It's like, shit, I should have come in a group, not just me. But I thought, well, I'm here now. It doesn't matter, I'm here. And I do know people, so it wasn't too bad. So, yeah.
You just find a group and infiltrate it.
Sorry?
So you just find a group and infiltrate it, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's right. If you just go start talking to some people, I guarantee at ParaMeet they will talk back to you.
Yeah.
And no one judges you, which is nice. And the speakers are all fantastic, I must admit.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky. We're very lucky to have the speakers that we get. Plus in January, at the end of this month, the 25th and 26th of January, we got ParaMeet World Online, where we got guest speakers from Canada, America, New Zealand, Australia, and the UK, and they'll be doing talks all weekend. So it'll be 24 hours a day for the Saturday and Sunday UK time.
Oh wow!
So that's going to be fun. I'm just trying to get all the speakers tied down for that one.
Yeah.
But we got speakers from Australia, America, and the UK and Canada and New Zealand as well. So that'll be good. That'll be shown live on Ghost Planet Network. So that'll be good fun if I put it all off, of course.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you can.
It'll be the first time we've done something like this on GPN. So
yeah, well, that's what we're looking at doing. We're going to be doing a online conference. Is that it?
Yeah.
So we're going to do it on here. So we know exactly what we're doing. We're going to me and Nicole are going to come on. We're going to introduce the guest. Then we're going to go off. They're going to talk for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we'll come back on, and the last 15 minutes will be a Q&A.
Yeah, that's a good
and
idea.
Then we'll go off, have a break, and then just keep doing that. Just keep repeating it, but obviously with different speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, try to get some vendors to show off their.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and show equipment that they use or merchandise. You can.
Yeah.
What's it called when they're plugging themselves? Is it selfless plugging? Yeah.
Promote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just promote themselves as much as they want and as much as they can.
That's good. That goes well.
We just got to organise it. It's in there. I know exactly how I want it in there, but putting it on here could be anything.
Into reality.
You're just
going to manifest it.
Yeah.
So, it should be good fun, if nothing else.
So you know who to reach out to if you need tips.
Yeah, Neil. Yeah, no, we should be good. But yeah. Oh, and also because last year I did a paranormal road trip where I went to different places and did like investigating and filming. This year I'm doing one, but it's UFO road trip.
Cool.
So I'm going to be going out to well-known or UFO hotspot locations around the UK. including Wales and Scotland. It's not going to be all in one week. It's going to be like different times, but it's all going to be connected. So it's all going to go out on YouTube, like live stream or pre-recorded. I'm not going to, because I've still got the one from last year where I did the paranormal. I've still got to put it all together and make the film with it. It's all there on my iPad. I haven't got the time to do it. But with this one, when they go out, it's going to be like part 1, part 2. So it's just going to be ongoing. So just go different places. And
are you going to go Cannock? Are you going to go down to Cannock Chase?
Definitely Cannock. That's one of my go-to places.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not a million miles from you either, is it, Cannock? Just straight across,
just
straight down the A5. Yeah,
it's about
and
half an hour away from me.
Yeah, I think it's just over an hour for me. But even Rendlesham's only 2 hours away, just straight down the A14.
Yeah.
So, but there's a couple of places.
3 to 4 hours for investigation. So an hour, 2 hour, that's not bad.
Yeah, but if we do more than 3 hours with like driving in the sea around here, there's not much land left after 3 hours unless you drive straight up or straight down.
That's right.
If you're going east to west, you can do it in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But no, I want to go to Wales. I want to go to Scotland, down to Cornwall.
Yeah.
Just all over the place. Up Yorkshire again to Bempton. A couple of places in Manchester, because that's where I'm from, where I had my original, like my first UFO encounters when I was growing up there. So just we're going to put all that together.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll just keep giving myself more and more work to do.
You're going to have to go to the research center.
Yes, definitely. Because you know Tim Smith.
Yeah.
He only lives around the corner from me. I was actually chatting to him today. And he keeps saying about us coming up to the antiques place.
Yeah.
I said, look, you book it and I'll turn up. But it's like he's turning around, I'll book it and he'll turn up.
Yeah.
So you just do for public, it's just Friday and Saturdays for public events.
For teams, it's Friday or Saturday nights.
Yeah.
We have Haunted Happenings come every Sunday from next week, so they've got a deal going on Sundays.
Ah, right, okay.
So it's just Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah. I'll speak to you off air. I'll message you, but it'll be a Saturday night anyway.
Okay.
But I know,
you
need to get a flight.
Yeah.
Fly to Birmingham. It's only a 40-minute drive from there. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I was going to get a passport first.
Oh yeah, that might help.
Yeah. We don't need it here. I don't go anywhere. I'll just go to other states.
You need to come to England for all the magic and the ghosts and demons and spirits, and because America's just Bigfoot and Dogman. There's nothing else going on there.
Tons of ghosts and UFOs.
So, but speaking of cryptids, have you had any cryptid encounters, Neil?
We do actually have spiritual creatures up the centre. So we've got all sorts at the centre. We've got little creatures that crawl across the floor and they've been caught on camera. There's one in particular hangs from the ceiling. You know in the film Jumanji, when the boy sort of turned into a sort of a monkey boy, he's a little bit like him. He's like a boy, but he's a monkey. So he tends to hang from the ceiling and touch people's heads. And we've got all sorts crawling across the floors. So we do.
Have pug wedgies?
Sorry?
Do you have any pug wedgies?
No.
Damn it.
Not yet.
There's
still time.
We'll have one if you got one to give us.
I might eventually capture one.
Yeah, don't ask her to send it in the post. I'm still waiting. 10 months I've been waiting for some stuff to be sent over, and she lost it. But anyway,
I did lose it. I have to make new ones.
Yeah, but do you get any like ET alien type stuff going on?
Yes, we do. We've actually caught a little ET on a camera. We actually did. We used to. Jane and I used to do shows like this where we chatted to guests. when we were doing a live show, someone said there's a reflection in one of the glass cabinets where we were, and that was a little ET. In one of the rooms, Jane and I were doing a live feed, and she said it was. If you watch Star Trek, you remember the Borg?
Yes.
Perhaps you know the Borg from the Next Generation. It was like a collective energy of extraterrestrial life. It was just it standing in one room, and Jane said it's just like
Yeah.
a collective. It's just not one person, not one entity. It was a collective. So yeah, we have had aliens up here. We've had some dealings with
Wow.
aliens. So that's again, that's really interesting. That's leading on to another new series that we're going to be starting this year
About
Wow.
aliens?
about aliens. Yes.
Oh,
Very cool. How
We've
did
got-
you
very
I-
excited now.
start a network?
Sorry.
What made you want to start like your own network? Did you start on YouTube and then just grow from there?
Well, so we started on YouTube, but YouTube is I think YouTube is saturated. You unless you're really really big, people can't find you. So that was very frustrating. And then another company that does paranormal is a paranormal network. Contacted me, asked me if we would do a show on their network, but they wouldn't let us do what we wanted to do. You know, we had to abide by their rules, and I says no, I'm not doing that. Even TV shows in the UK, two contacted us, asked if we do a series on the TV, but they were going to control everything we did, and I says no, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested at all. We
No,
won't
that
elaborate on anything. We won't exaggerate anything. We'll just say it as it is. So then
I've-
I started researching about the possibility of doing our own network, and it came to be. It started. It'll be 2 years in June. We started. It's Ghost Planet Network. It's
Yeah.
on all mobile devices and
Oh.
Roku TV. At the minute, Teams send me their. It's a little bit like a small version of YouTube. Teams send me their content. If I like it and if it's something that I would want to watch, I will put it on. If it's something that I think is completely fake or something that I didn't want to watch, I wouldn't put it on. So it's got different teams. It's got to
No.
investigate. They put content
Yeah.
on VPN. But next year I'm changing it a little. Well, this year now. This year I'm going to change it a little bit. It's going to be more of our research because I've got ideas for at least 13 different sort of shows or categories to go ahead with.
Yeah.
Whether it's focusing on the Ouija experiment, like we're starting filming tomorrow night, or we do a series called Paranormal Blackout, where one person investigates this building, no lights, and all they got is a night vision camera. So the only thing they can see is a 2-inch screen on the camera.
Ooh.
It sounds. Some people have said it. Oh, that's easy, but when you're upstairs on your own in the
Yeah.
dark, it's not easy. I've done it, and it scared the life out of me. I must admit, and it's my building.
Yeah.
I know what's happening here.
Yeah.
So we the Demon Connections goes on GPN, and I've got lots of different ideas for different shows. So it's going to be more based on my ideas, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
More of your own
But-
content.
Yeah, but were you saying about other networks have asked you to go on, and this is why you end up creating yourself? Do you think though that once you go to these networks and then they tell you what you can and can't do, if you agree to that straight away, you've sold yourself out, and then I don't think there's any coming back from that, because once you go there and you start doing it, people who are watching that were following you are going to be like, they're doing it for the money, the fame, the fortune. It's not real anymore. It's not organic. It's Hollywood, basically. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And they were gonna edit everything, and I said no, I'm not having that, because you can have footage and edit it and put something in a different place to make it look better than it was.
Yes.
And I edit all our stuff, and a lot of it's apart from bits that I cut out is as it was in the night.
Yeah.
No,
You just remove the irrelevant stuff or the boring bits. So
if
that's it.
even the funny bits I will leave in, because I just like to have a laugh anyway.
Yeah.
Do you do live investigations? Do you live stream?
We used to. Everything that we did used to be live, but on GPN, it has to go through software, OBS software. So that's difficult. So the camera has to be cabled to the computer. So that's difficult then, walking around the building.
Yeah.
But if for example, tomorrow night, if the series starts off well, I can do some live ones, because it's in one room, so I can just put the laptop in this room where I am now. We'll do the Ouija session, but with what we're doing tomorrow night is we're going to have the Ouija board in one room, and I will be in a completely different room. So we'll need two cameras, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the way we're gonna film it tomorrow is I'm gonna have we've got night vision cameras up here in this room, in the room. So on the big screen in the tea room, we'll have what's happening on the Ouija board. But on the same camera, it'll be me sort of presenting it as well. So that's killing two birds in one stone. So it's going to be a lot easier. So the option is to do the Ouija experiment live sometimes if there's demand. Depends how it goes. It might the experiment might not work. If I do it for 10 weeks and nothing happens, I shall perhaps change my mind. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's trial and error, isn't it? It's like anything. You've got to try it out to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, because it is a bit adventurous what we're doing tomorrow night, I must admit.
Yeah. Well, good luck with it all. But speaking of night vision and ETs, can I just quickly show you guys something?
Yeah.
So the original one. So when I was doing the paranormal road trip, I don't know. Do you know what Ash Ellis, Pursuit of the Paranormal?
Yeah, I know them.
So we did. I did an interview with him in his basement, and I was using night vision to do the interview, and he felt something touch his shoulder, and so we took a photograph, and then I sent it to him via WhatsApp, and we're looking at it on our phone, and as we're watching it, we see this thing develop on the digital thing, and it's like a Polaroid. It just became clear. So this is the original picture. But then he messaged me last night. I've not asked him if he can do this. I'm sure he'll be all right about it. If not, no, he'll be fine. So this is the original thing. So we felt something on his shoulder, and he thought he'd walked backwards into a doorway in the basement. I don't know if you can see, it's like a 3-finger print with a long triangle. It's got like spoon-like fingertips. Don't know if you can see it. It's not that clear, but the more you look at it, it becomes more prominent. So he felt
I can make them out. Yeah.
So do you know, like when you're in a bar and someone walks past and you just put their hand on your shoulder to get past you without pushing you out of the way? So that was that. So we took a photo straight away, and we've looked at it, and it was there. Then he sent me a picture last night of his bedroom window, and this is condensation, but I just need to explain something before I put the picture up. So if the window's wet and you put your hand on it, or you put something, you can see the drip marks. You can tell the print has been put on while it's wet. Yeah. If there's something on the window and then the condensation comes on it, you can tell it was there previous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is the image. Remember the image of the print on the back of his hoodie? This is one of his bedroom window on the left-hand side. So if you, to me, that's the same 3 fingers and a thumb and then it tapers down to like a triangle.
Yeah, similar.
So this is 2 stories up from where we was in the basement, not quite directly above, but above enough. And you can see that all that on the window, other than the 2 long streaks, it was there previous to the condensation being on the window.
Was it on the inside or the outside?
Inside. Yeah. So I would be moving out of that house. Don't care. I said, and he asked him, have you put cameras up or anything? He goes, we've set trail cameras up, but not caught anything, nothing on them whatsoever. But for that to be in the basement, for that to happen, and I was there when that happened because it was my cousin that took that picture. He sent it to me, then I sent it to Ash, and then we studied it and went through it, and then he sent me that last night. So that was in either June or July, this original one on the hoodie. That was June or July last year, so like 6-7 months later, and then we get this one. But it's just the long fingers with the spoon-like fingertips.
How big is that on the window?
I'd say bigger than an adult hand. Because look at the length of the
giant hand that was on my moonroof.
Yeah. Because you look how long them fingers are. It's not like someone's done that and dragged it down. You'd be able to see. This is like a solid, like an actual print. It's not been scraped along, or it's been put on like that and not like that.
Yeah. It's definitely probably worth going back to do another investigation.
Well, I said, I need to come back to your house. It'll be worth the 2.5-hour drive or 5-hour round trip. So
whatever.
Yeah, but
slumber party.
Yeah, well, yeah. But with me showing them to you, Neil, do you get anything like that with the prints or anything on the glass or the windows, door handles?
Well, not on the windows, because the windows have all got foam up against them, trying to cut out the noise from the outside.
Ah, got you. Yeah.
But we have had marks on the glass cabinet, some of the glass cabinets inside.
Yeah.
Not like that.
So do you get the marks on the inside of the cabinet or on the outside?
We've had them both inside and outside.
Oh. See, the inside ones would freak me out.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of camera set up in there?
We have cameras up in most of the rooms, but this tends to happen in the tea room, to be honest, and we don't have cameras up in the tea room.
Ah.
Because I think that's infringed on people's tea break time.
Yeah. So do you think it's because there's no cameras set up there that you seem to be getting more activity because they're not being watched?
Personally, I don't think they bother. If they're not,
no.
They don't care. If they're seen, they don't care. Depends who it is. I don't think they care up here,
No.
because we've experienced so much. Whether it's different out in the open, where people don't experience this sort of thing as much.
Yeah. So do you also? Oh, can't speak now. Do you? I know what I was saying. It's not coming out. The buildings that are connected to the antique place.
Yeah.
Do they get any activity? Do you know? Do they have anything going on? Or
Oh yeah.
Oh.
The whole it's like a row in the town. And they all have some sort of activity, whether it's spirits from their buildings or spirits from here going across. So I know we have a bit further down the road. There used to be an old theatre. It's a bank now, I think it is. It used to be an old theatre. So we do have a guy who comes from there into here. We call him a magician. He was a magician. He used to be on the stage as a magician. So he comes here. He likes to move things, and because it's what he used to do. He used to do tricks, so people can't see him. People couldn't see him do something. So of course, people can't see him do things now. So he will move things when he comes, but
Yeah.
then he goes back again. He just
Yeah.
people have heard footsteps next door and all sorts.
Yeah. Have you had any complaints from nearby buildings because of what you do? Like saying, "Oh, it's your fault. All this stuff's going off."
Only when we, like I said, when we first took the building on, we had the second floor, and the first floor was an office for a company. They used to complain because they said what we're doing is evil, and they had lots of activity in their room.
Yeah.
But they moved out, so
Because of the activity?
yeah.
Oh well.
Which is good for me because I took this floor on then because I'm on the first floor now.
Yeah.
Your spirits were like, we need more room. Like, let's get these guys out of here so we can expand.
We might have said to the spirits, "Look, we want the first floor. Can you help us?" We might have
recognizing your spirits.
We might have said that. I'm not admitting it, but we might have said, "Can you go and do something?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Got downstairs. We need more space. Yeah.
well, perhaps they wanted more space anyway, so they'd have done it anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Your neighbors next door are going to be watching this like, uh-oh, better watch out.
Yeah. Some people don't agree with what we do, especially with things like if they hear that what we're doing with the demon connections, that they'll go mad. And obviously the church people don't like what we do.
No.
That's up to them. I don't like. I'm not religious.
No, same as me.
Apologize if you're religious. I apologize, but I don't care what they do. So just keep it separate.
As long as it doesn't interfere with anyone, I suppose. Unless you need more room, then that's different. But basically you keep it, I suppose, behind closed doors, really, don't you? Quite literally.
Kind of, yeah. If you go up main shopping street, and if you ask somebody where the Haunted Antique Centre is, they won't know where it is.
Really?
Yeah.
You keep it like low key.
All right. I don't know. It's I advertise it on the local selling sites and things, the local sites. Perhaps people from England aren't that interested in the paranormal. Perhaps they're scared. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, could be a bit of
everything.
everything.
We've had people come here from America, Australia, New Zealand. So we've had all sorts people from all over the world, but not so many from the town, which is a bit strange. But that's that's up to them, isn't it?
But when there's things in your own town, I feel like you overlook it a lot. Like we do events and we do local events. We get people, they're like, I never even knew this place was here.
Exactly, yeah. It's on you when something's on your doorstep, you don't tend to go there, do you? People from Leicester, which is 13 miles away, they'll probably come here more than people from Incley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like you said, though, because it's on your doorstep, it's like, oh, I can go there anytime. And I used to be like that when I lived in Manchester. And it's like, then half the places started shutting down. I'm like, well, that didn't work, did it?
That's right.
Like that, where people overlook it. They're like, if there was something cool here, I would have known about it. I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, you do get that. You get that quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that now you've mentioned it. So are you planning on opening another place or just keeping the one?
Well, I'm definitely not opening another place.
No.
What happens next year, I'm not sure, because I actually can retire next year. I'm on retirement age next year. So, and also the lease is up with the building. So I've not decided yet what's happening next year, to be honest.
Right.
So everybody book while you can.
Yeah, book while you can. No, I haven't decided yet.
No, I just felt I needed to ask that question. I'm kind of glad I had now, because at the same time, I think because of how close it is to me, it's like, yeah, well, I can go any Saturday. I just need to book it, and then it'll come, and it's like, oh, it's not there anymore, and I'd be annoyed with myself.
Saturdays are fully booked up until June, so you've only got 6 months to after June.
Yeah, I'll
I
speak
don't
to
know.
Tim
Like I say,
tomorrow.
I've
Yeah, I'll
not
speak.
decided for next year yet.
No.
Yeah, just leave it up in the air. Even if you do decide, that way more people book it out because they're like it might close.
Just
Put it in there.
in case. Yeah.
Mhm.
But obviously GPM will carry on anyway because I do that from home.
Yeah.
So I've not decided.
No. But saying that though, if you did decide to like not do it anymore, would you completely close it? Would you pass it on to somebody else? What would you do with the items in there if you was not to pass it over?
If I wasn't to pass it over, they'd be sold. I'd sell. I'd keep some of the items.
Yeah.
Because I would like to still do something in the paranormal. So whether it's I just get an office and keep some items in there, and we do just focus on our own work. I don't know yet. But if the place does close, they'll be most of them will be sold.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's a I feel sad already. Sorry.
It's not.
Right?
It's not
And it's
definite.
not even
But
closed.
No, I know, but it's just the thought of it because it's like
It's not even country.
because I was saying to Nicole earlier, because I don't always tell her who the guest is or what the guest is about. So I was saying like you've got the Haunted Antique Centre, and I said it's like it's the English version of Zach Baggins' one that he's
it's
got in
better than
Vegas.
that. It's better than
But
that.
I did say that. So yeah, but I said like it's like all these different haunted objects, and you can go in, and you can have a tour, and
Yeah.
so on and so on. So yeah. I do feel
Get
quite
over there
sad.
sometime
Sorry.
then.
I know. I'm going to speak to. I said to Tim, I'll phone him tomorrow because I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. Well, we are going out in the afternoon actually, but tomorrow I'll give him a call. So if I book it, I just need to know when he's going to be available. I don't want to book it. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not here." It's like,
yeah,
I can't go twice in one day. Well, I could, but
You could very well go twice.
yeah, I know. I would.
Compare results. There you go.
Yeah, good idea.
Scientific.
I did have another question, but it's completely gone. I will try and remember it. Have you got any questions, Nicole?
I don't know. I want to talk about the network. I find that very, very interesting.
Yeah, Ghost Planet Network. Yeah, it's Ghost Planet Network. A lot of things have been sort of very quiet lately because I was caring for my dying mum for 9 months last year. She passed away in October. So everything, including GPN, has been very quiet because I've not been home even. I've been caring for my mum. So when I get back up to speed on focusing on things, Ghost Planet Network is going to be. Eventually, I want it to have its own app, so you can just click on the app, a bit like YouTube. Just click on it, you're straight there. At the minute, you've got to type in the website, or you can watch it on Roku TV. It's all free. There's no subscriptions to pay. I think you have to pay on all the other ones I've seen. You have to pay per month. There's no adverts, so because adverts annoy me on YouTube, unless you pay, of course. So it's free to watch, no adverts. And the minute I think there's about 35 different categories. For example, if a team puts their content on, they have their own category, so all their stuff is in together. Like I say, this year when Jane's back up here, we're going to be focused on more of the stuff that we want to do, that I want to do, the ideas that I've got and the ideas that Jane's got. So it's going to be new, original stuff, not stuff that's on YouTube as well. If you get one, because a lot of teams put stuff on YouTube and GPN, so it's not only our stuff is original to GPN. So I'm going to expand on ours, and like I said, I've got about 13, 15 different ideas for different things that we can do. For example, the Ouija experiment, that'll have its own category. Demon Connections got its own category. Paranormal Blackout is a category. So we're going to have a lot more of our own research going directly. It'll be, and plus that'll be exclusive to GPN then. So,
Can you give everybody a recommendation? Like if you download this right now on your Roku, what should we watch first?
Well, personally, I will watch the Demon Connections because I think that's because that's a lot of it's changed a lot of people's perspective of demons. But if you're expecting us to be dragged across the ceiling, that sort of, or that Hollywood sort of thing, you're going to be disappointed because it's not. It's just our research into chatting with demons, find out who they are, what they want, and what they're doing. And to me, it's fascinating. It's changed my perspective, and it's changed a lot of people's perspective. I like the Demon Connections, obviously. I like Dead Cold Paranormal. That's a really good category. Haunted Prison Investigations. That's a good category. Gap Paranormal. That's a good category. Kate Ray's podcasts are on there, so that's really good. And they're all really good. And also, they're not all sort of TV sort of standard filming or state. It's a couple. It's a man and wife going out investigating because they enjoy going out. That sort of thing, filming what they're doing. So, and I like that sort of thing. You know, TV tends to be sort of TV channels and production companies have got a narrative, and they want your show to fit in that narrative.
Yeah.
I don't have a narrative. I just get ideas, and Jane gets ideas, and we just see if we can expand on them, and that's how we work. So this year, from April onwards, there's going to be a lot more new shows going on there. So it's I'm quite excited. I'm excited to get back because I've not done anything, to be honest, for 12 months probably.
Wow.
Since looking after my mum.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get back into it. I've missed the Demon Connections a lot because Jane's been in Exeter, so we've not been able to do it. So come March, we will do. I think we'll probably do Demon Connections live as to bring it back into things. Again, it will be live on GPN. I think we need to sort out a really well-known demon as well to make it a big we're back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'd quite scary to, isn't it, really?
It's honestly,
you think about it, it sounds like
the Demon Connections is not scary at all.
But the way it comes across, it's like you want to get a big name demon. It's like it's gonna rip everyone's soul from the body.
Okay, then.
Show up in this season premiere, okay?
We have done a Demon Connections live before. You know, the famous Exorcist possession story was the demons of Loudun in France, and we thought, we'll focus on those 3 demons who supposedly possessed this priest or whatever he was. So we did do live then, and that was because it was a special one. So I think because we haven't done an episode for so long, we wanted I want a good demon. Who knows? It could be Lucifer.
Imagine.
We have chatted to him before, but it could be Lucifer. I've got to talk to Jane about this because I want it to be a really good one. Say, it's live. With the Demon Connections is back because I think the Demon Connections is the most important thing that I've done ever in my life.
Yeah.
Because it's changing people's perspectives. So it's got to be a good one. Other big ones like Valak, in the Conjuring films, the nun's supposed to be in the demon Valak. We've done him. He was okay.
He was okay.
I do have an idea who it's going to. I do have an idea it's going to be, and it's quite a surprising one, to be honest. But I've not spoken to Jane about this yet.
All right. Well, that's going to be really
Question.
interesting to watch.
I've got a question. I'm
Go on then.
don't want to sound critical or anything, but how do you know you are actually speaking to that particular demon?
Because Jane can see them. If they allow
Right.
Jane to see them, she can.
Sorry.
The way Jane works, she lets her energy go into their energy, so she knows. Yeah, it's who they say they are, and some of the things that they are telling us, you know, it's not what you expect. So she is. If Jane says she's happy that it is that demon that we're speaking to. Some just show themselves as energy.
Yeah.
But she says, yeah, it is it. Because what we do is Jane will ask all the other spirits of the building and the area and the spirits around us to step back. So there is no other spirits in the room where we do it. We tend to do it in this room actually. So there's no other spirits in this room. And then if this energy comes through, because she's invited that energy, she knows that's the energy that's coming.
Yeah.
So I do have an idea who the live is going to be. It is going to be exciting, I think, because of who I think this spirit is.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get. I can't tell you because
don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Andy, don't give it away.
No, sorry, I forgot you said that about Jane, that she interacts with him with the energies and all that, because you said that earlier on in the
quite often
didn't you? So
we started when we started the Demon Connection. We used to do it live on Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's how Demon Connection started. Some people used to say, "How do you know you are talking to this demon?"
Yeah.
So I've asked Jane this, and she says because she knows the energy is not human. It's not what she normally comes across, and because she's invited him, and the world of spirit have given Jane this invocation that is never shown on any of the videos. We don't show anyone how to invite a demon into the room because I think that's I just don't think that's right anyway.
No, I get that.
So I do think the first one we do is going to be live, and it'll be live on GPN.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll both watch it, and all the other viewers will watch it.
Definitely. No, the reason I asked that question is because when people do Ouija boards, the seances and that, and they're apparently speaking to, say, your great uncle that died, and you're trying to communicate with him.
Yeah.
I know you do get a lot of tricksters, spirits pretending to be people that they're not.
Yeah.
So that was the reason why I asked that question.
Yeah. And I personally, I think because they are these demons are, I believe, are ancient beings from long time ago. Let's face it.
Yeah,
they are ancient beings. Why lie? People have said they're lying to us to get us into a false sense of security with it, and then they're going to do something bad. To be honest, there's four of us in the team, and not once has any of us felt threatened or scared or anything. It's you can sort of sense if a spirit is lying to you. You can sort of sense it. But I have got no doubts that we do speak to these demons, and these demons are in this room, and we do communicate with them. And I'm very excited about this live one coming up.
Yeah.
When Jane's back.
Yeah, like you just said though, I think it comes back to this again, intent. If they know what your true intent is, then why are they gonna want to threaten you or cause harm?
Exactly. You know, the first ones we did were quite cagey because they didn't know our intent.
Yeah.
You know, when Aleister Crowley invited these demons, because Aleister Crowley was inviting the 72 demons from Leicestershire, Keir Solomon, his intent was for power.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they wouldn't work with him as much as they're working with us, because our intent isn't for power, it's not for fame, it's not for glory. If no one watched the series, we'd still do it anyway, because we want to know these answers. So our intent, and as we've been doing more and more, they are giving us more information. It's as if we've shown them our intent, which is the right intent.
Yeah.
We've shown them that we can be trusted, so they give us a bit more. We've shown them that we're true, so they give us a bit more. And I do think we are at a stage now. I know we've not done one for quite a while, and we are at a stage now to do something really, really big. And I think that if we do it live, it will be a special live feed.
Yeah, that's going to be
Excellent.
exciting.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see.
Yeah. Like you said, it's a trust. Once you get them to trust you, and vice versa, and then you can progress. Then
now, if you go to a location, time and time again, doing it right, talk to them with respect, they will give you more every time, because they know you, they know what you're doing, they know you're doing it for the right reasons, so they will work with you more.
Yeah.
The more times you go. We have a lady come here. She's been dozens and dozens of times. She gets so much activity because the spirits know her. They know she's doing it for the right reasons. There's nothing bad about it, so they work with her.
Yeah. Excellent. Right. Well, we've hit the 2-hour mark. Nicole's got to go and feed her 300 million children.
I have 300 million children. I have two.
Two. Might have been a slight exaggeration.
Wait.
So I just want to say a massive thank you, Neil, for coming on.
Well, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me and talking to me and listening to my madness.
We're all mad. It doesn't matter.
We're all mad here.
We're all a little bit mad. But I'm gonna get my ticket sorted for the ParaMeet in May, and
Good.
I'll contact you as well for me and Tim to come down and go to the antiques place.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone in the chat. I know there wasn't many questions, but it just kept rolling, so we didn't really need that many anyway. So sod them lot in the chat.
Yeah. Make sure you ask questions.
Yes. So again, anyone listening on podcast, thank you for downloading and keeping it running. And that's it. So yeah, you can. So what the name? So you're on Roku, aren't you? Roku.
It's Roku stick. It's not on Roku channel. It's a bit like the Amazon Prime stick. And just if you get one of that, it's about 30 quid from Argos. If you get one of them, you can just plug it into your telly, upload Ghost Planet Network, and you can see all the categories on there.
Excellent. So thank you so much again for coming on. And when I come up in May, I will come up and say hello. And
please do.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So we're going to end it now. Thank you. I said everyone in the chat. Thank you, Og, Giro Sounds, Jane, Midwest, Gerald, and Og for doing the moderating. Really do appreciate it. We will be back on Wednesday with two of our regulars, Brandon and Dawn. So we're going to go back into
the rabbit hole.
Rabbit holes of God knows what. But we'll be going down one, and we might even come back out the other side. And then on the 17th, a week today, we've got Frankie Adeo coming on. That Nicole's gonna double check and triple check and make sure he does actually come on. Then the 22nd, we've got Chris Turner coming on. And then the 24th, the Friday, we've got Kate Hairgo Ray. And then we'll go into the rest of everyone who's coming up from here until the end of whenever. So
Jimmy's going to get a list made.
Sorry?
You're going to get a list made, you said.
I'm doing it tomorrow. I've got waiting for a parcel, and then we're going out in the afternoon, so I'm going to get everything done tomorrow morning. I've just not had time to do it.
Because we are booked up until April?
April, going into May now. So, and that's Wednesday and Friday. So I'm not complaining.
Nope.
So it's all good. So thank you again, Neil. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, everyone listening on podcast player, and everyone rewatching afterwards. So have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to check Neil's Facebook. All the links have been put up on screen. They're in the description. And get your tickets for ParaMeet, the 24th, 26th weekend in May. Just go to the website and you can book out all through there. I've got the link, so if you want it, I can send it you directly. So on that note, have a wonderful time, and we'll see you on Wednesday. That's it. Not got anything else. Take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye.